Hey guys, what's up? We're back. 2019 is here. We've had a break over Christmas and New Year, which was, I think, much needed. It was definitely needed on my side. I'm sure it was needed on your side, John. But we're back for with a bang on this card. This is a really solid fight card. The UFC are kicking off their partnership with ESPN, and they're putting a really good main event in there with really good fights scattered through the prelims, the UFC Fight Pass prelims. So we're happy to be back breaking down more cards for you. We're looking to do some bigger things in 2019, which John's going to talk about in a couple of seconds there. But yeah, great start to the year, great card. We'll get into it in a second. I'm going to pass over to John, who's going to tell you 2019. I nearly said 2018 there, which is still creeping in my mind all the time. But yeah, John, how was your Christmas and New Year? How was the 232 end of the year? Big time for a lot of fight fans and the PFL and so on. But yeah, we're in 2019, and we're going to hopefully kind of grow the channel a little bit more.
That is it, bro. You said there, grow the channel. Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for joining us again to kick the year off. Hit that subscribe button. Follow us on social media, whether it be this YouTube channel, whether it be on SoundCloud, iTunes, Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, all that good stuff. Give us a follow, folks. Much appreciated. And we're looking to put out, obviously, our fight picks for all the UFC events. We're also going to look to do more. I'm looking to do more interviews this year, so we'll try and get more interviews across, not just obviously UFC, but just across the board on all sorts of cards, whether it be Invicta, Cage Warriors, KSW, LFA, Bellator, the lot. Just if I can get the guys on or the girls on, I will get them on and try and get the interviews sorted out for you all. So this year is going to be a bit of a bigger effort with that. Hell of an end to the year, bro, wasn't there? Some fights, you know, John Jones kind of stamping his authority down as the light heavyweight king is the best way to put it. And I was a bit good about that fight because I thought it's very rare that the sequel ever is as good as the first one, because they always make adjustments, fighters, to the first time. It's never going to happen again. So we didn't get that great war, which is a bit of a stickler. And sadly, Gus now is in a weird position. What does he do? Where's he go? You know, he is the Benavidez of the division where he just can't win that title. You know, he's always shy of it. But yeah, a lot of questions. But man, what a card to kick off the year! This Brooklyn card. Woof, gosh, there is some awesome fights. I can't wait for this card to kick off. And yeah, some great fights announced already in the future for us. Also, all good things are coming.
So, do you want to set off some of our goals for this year, numbers wise?
Yeah. So, folks, our goal this year is to, if we can, on YouTube, try and get up to, ideally by June, we're going to try and hit the 500 mark subscribers. That would be fantastic if we can get those. It does a lot for us and the channel itself. And at the end of the year, kind of goal aim is 600. But if Santa's good to us and could give us a little present, we wouldn't mind 700. I know it's a big of a gap there, but if everyone can just push it out there, share this channel, you know, subscribers, if they're listening right now, it's little things like that make a huge difference. Just hit that subscribe button and away you go. That is it.
Yeah. I think 700 is doable. I really do. Being a guy that's been around YouTube, and you've been on YouTube for a while as well, and I can't remember, we don't really know what the numbers were for last year, but I think 700, if we get a good start to the year and hit a 500 by the middle of the year, then we can maybe make a run towards that 700, 600 number at the end of the year. But yeah, we're going to get into this fight card. Like I said, a really good fight card and good fights. They did a good job with this one. It's taken a few hits in the last 4 or 5 days with fighters kind of flying out willy-nilly, and the New York Commission pulling guys out that are seemingly healthy. So who knows what's going on with those guys. But the first fight on the card is Chan's Rencounter. Now, we think he's against Kyle Stewart, who was due to fight Jared Gooden on the LFA main event upcoming within the next few weeks, I believe. Nothing's really come out that he is set in stone to be the guy to replace Dwight Grant, who was replacing Randy Brown. So I think we're going to give that a wee miss because we don't know officially what it is. I think if that fight does get put together, I like Kyle Stewart, but he's got to drop a load of weight. A really good fight. We've seen him in the Dana White show. coming up through that LFA banner, you know you're going to get good fighters out of that promotion. Mick Maynard knows those guys thoroughly. I would pick him over Ring Counter, but like I say, nothing's really... Ariel's come out and said a few things. When Ariel says things are usually put in place, but who knows? Nothing's officially announced yet, but yeah, I'm not going to give a prediction. Well, if it happens, Kyle Stewart, but hey.
I'm the same as well. I'd go Kyle Stewart. I like the way the guy fights, I like the look of him. It's very well rounded, but we don't know how the commission is. You know what commissions are like, especially New York and Brooklyn, that kind of area. We've seen it before with guys cutting weight or trying to cut a lot of weight. Look at the Max Holloway incident when he, so you know, it's a bit dubious because it all depends on what he weighs. We don't know what Karl weighs at the moment, so he might be okay, he might not. It's too much tempting fate, bro. You're right. Hashtag
fake boobs. Which should be the matchup for Paige VanZant against Rachael Ostovich. So I don't know how they two are going to get by fight week. Something's going to go on there probably. But moving on, we'll move on to the first full fight we can really get into, and that is it's a really good one. Belal Muhammad against Jeff Neal. I'm going to let you kind of kick us off with this one, John. Hit it.
Yeah, I think it's a cracking fight, bro. I really love. I like Belal, man. He's a really awesome dude. He's been fighting in the UFC for a little while. He's on a good fight win streak from Titan FC. He's good. He's just well rounded with Duke Rufus, you know, and those Milwaukee guys. So he's surrounded by Tyrone. He's surrounded by Ben Askren. He's just surrounded by a bunch of just high talent. Pettis brothers, you know, just a talent skill set of guys around him. And he shows it in fights. He's very smart with his fighting. In some fights, sometimes he just gets a bit drawn in, but he's a good technical fighter. He's got good movement. He's fighting against Jeff Neal, but these guys are kind of opposite in the sense of, you know, Belal's a good guy who will get to. He's durable, can last 3 rounds, has a good output for the 3 rounds as well. So, and Neal is a power guy, you know, quick, powerful strikes. And one thing that I kind of saw on tape that kind of partly worries me, obviously, Belal could absolutely cover this and stop it from happening before the fight happens, is that his right hand drops. Well, not drops, so he has his right hand quite low when he's striking. Just because his orthodox stance, you know, when he's fighting, he's got his left hand high for the parries, but he has his right hand a little bit low. If you watch Neal's fights, he's got a really good and kind of untelegraphed head kick. It's really good, really smooth. I've got a slight worry that head kick, whether not maybe in the first round because reaction times there, you're good, you're not tired, so to speak. Maybe in the second round, it could be a tell inside. It could catch Belal and maybe put him on wobbly legs. That was something that really kind of stuck out when I watched the tape on these pair. As much as Belal has got a good chin, a head kick just sucks. You know, anyone get a head kick, it's not a good thing. And we've seen how good Neal's head kicks are. So I'm a bit cautious on that. If they've watched the tape and they've studied Neal, keep that right hand up just to kind of take the blow, just to soften the blow. I think Belal will be all right. But if he doesn't, I just worry that he might come in on a couple of punches because Neal's really good at the counter with that left. But I'm just going to go with Belal here because I think that he's just got a little bit more knowledge, a little bit more ring experience. Those 3 rounds, he knows how to ground a fight out. Look at the Tim Means fight. Tall, long dude, was a pain to fight. Got that fight out of the way. Belal can fight dirty. He can fight smart. We've not had a chance yet to see what Jeff Neal could do because, like Camacho fight, Camacho is just a wild animal, you know, and he's not a Belal. Camacho and Belal are 2 different fighters. It'd be interesting to see how Jeff handles Belal because he's a far more technical and well-paced fighter. I'll go Belal decision, but that head kick is just in my head. It's just in there. And like, if they haven't sorted out now, there's a worry that it might still come back and bite him in the back side, so to speak.
Yeah, this was one of the fights that kind of caught my eye when they get put together. I think 2 really good, solid guys. We've seen what Muhammad's all about. He's been in the UFC a lot longer than what Jeff Neal has. But Jeff Neal, he had that kind of performance against Frank Camacho. He kind of really rubber stamps himself as a prospect in that division. You've seen what he's got and you've seen what he offers. To me, Camacho is he was a blown up welterweight. He's a lightweight all day. but the guy's tough, the guy's scrappy, but he took a lot of punishment in that fight, and then it all ended with that untelegraphed head kick, which caught him and absolutely fooled him. So you can see the aspects and the combination striking, the fast power. He's got a lot to like. The kid has got a lot to like, and rubber stamped himself as someone to look out for. This is the right type of matchup for Jeff Neal. Someone like Belal Muhammad, who is super durable, super tough, hard to look good against. If you come out doing good against Belal Muhammad, you're usually a very, very kind of solid fighter. Joban, I don't really take too much into the Joban kind of win there, because he was literally coming there on short notice. I think it was during Ramadan as well. So the way that he fought in that fight, I thought was kind of really, really good. I know he lost the fight still. Came back, knocked out his next opponent, then got knocked out pretty viciously against Vicente Luque. We all know Luque is a really big underdog in that division. Still under the radar. People aren't really talking about him. He's getting matched up with guys. I think he's got Barberena coming up, which is going to be a good fight, but I think it's a winnable fight for Luque. You look at the skill set of Belal Muhammad, doesn't move his head too much. His head's very stationary, can take a shot, which worries me, because we've seen that Jeff Neal has good combinations. He can counter strike as well. He can angle off. He can throw head kicks. If Belal's head's there and he's taking shots, the accumulation of strikes could really start to kind of screw him throughout the fight. I think the first 5 to 7 minutes is going to be the danger zone for Belal. If he can avoid getting hit with decent damaging shots and get off his own shots, then I think he can make this fight very close. The one thing that I like with Belal is he can go a hard 15 minutes. A couple of fights that I've seen of Jeff Neal, he's faded a little bit in third rounds. Now, it was up a weight class at 185 against Kevin Holland, who's a UFC fighter, who's won UFC fights. So there's no disrespect and there's no disparaging that loss, really, because that's not the worst loss in the world. But I think Belal can make it dirty, make it, and I think he can get takedowns, which is going to make, I think the striking exchanges are going to be fairly close. I think maybe Neal might edge that, but I think with the control against the cage, with the odd takedowns here and there, I think he could win these rounds through that. So I'm going to pick Belal Muhammad via split decision. I think it's going to be a super close fight. He is a betting underdog in this fight, and he's someone, I only have one bet in this card so far, which I'll go through when we get to that fight. But he is a plus 150. Plus 155. That's moved up. That is not a bad line on Belal Muhammad. I think it's, and I've seen some people really, really on Jeff Neal in this fight, and they think it's going to be an easier fight than I think they're making out. I like Belal Muhammad. I'm going to pick him via a 29-28 split decision now. Moving on, lightweight division. Weird. Dennis Bermudez moves up to 155 to face T. Edwards, who is coming off a fairly damaging loss against Don Madge. I want to say back in October. That was a brutal knockout, by the way, so he's maybe coming back a little bit too quick. But he's facing someone in Dennis Bermudez who I think has no business being at 155. We've seen him hurt in numerous fights via various strikes down at 145, jabs, hooks, slight knees to the chin. And being dropped with that. Now he's moving up to 155. He's very short. His reach is tiny. These guys are going to be bigger than he is. I think they're going to be faster. I think some of the guys he'll be facing will be faster. I don't think he's got any right being at in the lightweight division. Now, in saying that, he's got a young guy in T. Edwards, I think he's only had like 8 fights. Dennis Bermudez has been in the UFC since 2011, I want to say. He's been around a long time. He's fought some of the best guys in the division. He's taken his damage meter. Is the one thing that's kind of worrying me. He's taken a lot of damage. He's been dropped a load of times. He's losing fights, very like close fights. It's like his last 3 losses are all splits.
Yeah.
And he's all when you look at the fights there, he's maybe got a chance of maybe winning a couple of those fights. I think he lost the Elkins one. I thought he lost the Feely one. I think the Rick Glenn one, he could have got that fight. But his damage meter's fairly high. Even way back when I watched him against Jeremy Stevens at UFC 189, where he caught a vicious flying knee there. That was a great fight. Lamas, I think that's where the start of the deterioration started to come there when he got stopped in the first. T. Edwards, what he has, big power, good wrestling. He's an Arizona State wrestler, so anybody that comes out of Arizona State is a solid wrestler. Cain Velasquez, Ryan Bader, you name it, those type of guys are the guys that come out of Arizona State. A really solid wrestler, grapplers. I just don't know where I see Dennis Bermudez winning this fight. Does he take him down? I don't see it. Does he outstrike him? I don't see it. The only way I kind of see this fight ending is with T. Edwards knocking him out. I'd be very surprised if... But the one thing that he might do is he might use all that experience he's got and try and kind of take it to 3 rounds. And if the rounds are close, he could win through that. And we kind of seen in the last fight with Edwards, he puts a lot of power into his strikes, and that could gas him out. Now, if that happens, then Bermudez can come into that fight. I'm going to pick T. Edwards for a knockout. I'm going to go the first round as well. I think he's going to catch him with a big shot and knock him out. So T. Edwards is my pick there.
Oof, that's a big call. Because like you say, you look at the record of Bermudez and you think, he's lost 4 in a row. But like you said, it's split decision, so it's not a domination. It's not like it's not like he's getting 10-8 every time on each round. Maybe he is going to lightweight because he maybe feels he's like, for example, he's only 2 inches shorter than T. Edwards here. I know he is still short. 5'6" is still short, folks. And any blokes watching who are 5'6", you're short. Suck it up. But Edwards is 5'8". Not much of a difference. But Benavidez, man, he wrestled in Ohio.
Mm-hmm.
He was an All-American freestyle wrestler. Division 1, NCAA Division 1, legit wrestler as well. So the pair of them are, high-end wrestlers. So like you said, might just be a stand-up battle. And the thing is, like I said, with Edwards, he throws a lot of his strikes because it is from a wrestling kind of stance and power, that kind of just explosive movement like wrestling. But with striking, it can really wear on you after a round or 2. Benavidez needs to stay away from it. We've seen that Edwards likes to just thinks he can relax and throw strikes. But my big worry is that knockout, man. Like, he got knocked out really bad, and it wasn't that long ago. So you got to think he was sparring again within 8 weeks. So he's only had he's pretty much had a fight camp to follow this whole thing. So he's been sparring in that fight camp. How hard has the sparring partner's been able to go on him? Yeah. Because I'm not being funny. There's no way there was not some concussive damage done in that knockout that still is with him right now. Dennis Bermudez might feel super fresh at 155. How many dudes went at 155 and felt great? He might feel great. He might feel more durable. His chin might feel better, not cutting the weight down. He might feel stronger, look better. He'll probably be faster, even though he's been around that long time. It's a horrible one to pick, man. I like what Edwards can bring to the table, but I weirdly want to go Bermudez, and I have no idea why. I've got a dude that's on a 4-fight win streak, and he's stepping up into a weight class against a young gun who's just going to go crazy for him. But there's that asterisk with that knockout. I'm going to go Bermudez decision. But I really wouldn't be surprised if Bermudez stops Edwards, because Edwards might not be recovered from that knockout. But for Edwards, it's a good name, a cracking name to get on your record, be it Bermudez, because obviously he'll be cut then. If Bermudez loses this, that's him done. He'll be released. Off he goes. He might continue or he might retire. Who knows? Bellator might snap him. But this is definitely, because I think this is one of the factors. Like, Bermudez will know, I can't lose this. So you might see a different Bermudez. You might see a more thoughtful Bermudez, fighting for that contract and that career. So yeah, I'll go Bermudez decision. But it's interesting to see how he'll do it at 155.
Yeah. So moving on, bantamweight division, we have Mario Bautista, who's coming in here for the injured John Lineker, which this was a fight. This was, honestly, I think, outside the main event, was the fight I was really looking forward to in this entire card. was Lineker against Sandhagen, and I was going to bet John Lineker. He was going to be my pick. I was fairly set in that. But now it's Mario Bautista, an MMA Lab guy, coming in here against Cory Sandhagen. So it was off.
I like this fight. I know it's a short notice step in, but like you said, MMA Lab, there's G experience. The dude's got good skills on the ground. He is a grappler with great submission movement. You know, he's always threatening on submissions, whether he be on top, on your back, anywhere. He's got threatening opportunities to get, and he charges with good strikes, get you down. He'll want to get Cory down here. Like that. That's all his goal would be, is to get the fight down. That's where his stronger and more probable chance to win the fight would be on the ground. Problem is, though, we saw that Cory, he's all right on it. He doesn't mind throwing down the ground. He's gangster. Look what Alcantara did. He's like, snap your arm. I don't care. I'll punch you with it. You know, he's durable on the ground. Obviously, I think Cory got caught early, like as in, if you watch it, the way they rolled, the way they fell into it, he just kind of maybe he needs to be a bit more active at the start of the fight, Cory, to, you know, maybe be a bit more, you know, apprehensive on what could happen, so he doesn't fall into that position again. But, you know, as much as Mario wants to be aggressive and get to the ground, like Cory on top, man, that dude is a nasty guy with his ground and pound, man. He is relentless with it. He's just horrible. On the feet, I'm going Cory all day. I'm just curious to see if how the cut is for Mario. Obviously, short notice fight, big factor. Step up in competition, you know. Clear step up in competition. I've saw some of the kind of guys he was matched up against previously. Regional scene, Combate Americas. So he's building himself up. But I'm going to go with Cory. Obviously, it's not because it's a short notice fight, but I just think Cory on the ground can hold his own defensively with his kind of aggressive behavior, offensive behavior. On the feet, I just think he's got a bit more in his arsenal than Mario. But I won't be lying, folks. I think Mario with full fight camp, he'll be a really good addition to the UFC. He's got a lot of he's just really fun to watch when he gets on the ground, when he gets hold of someone. Yeah. I'm going to go with Cory. I think Cory could stop Mario, not because I don't think Mario's not good. I just think short notice fight can be a big factor. 3 rounds, Cory can go hard for 3 rounds, go just constant, relentless pressure on. That's what I'd be doing if I was Cory. I'd be output high, pressure, just wear this kid out, you know, and get a finish. I'm going to go 3rd round finish for Cory. I just think you can get a stoppage here, like a TKO, just Mario just tired, exhausted, just because he'll tire himself out trying to get the fight down to the ground. Cory stops the takedowns and just finish him off with a TKO in the 3rd.
Yeah, I'm going to pick Sandhagen as well. I think it's yesterday when I found out that Bautista was coming in, went and watched 2 of his amateur fights, watched 4 of his pro fights. The guy doesn't really have all that much on the feet, but what he uses, he kind of throws a lot of kind of volume to get into clinch positions where the dude is super strong. Very heavy takedowns, heavy in the clinch, and he's very heavy on the ground. If he gets you on the ground, he's very hard to buck off. He's just a hard guy to get off you. So that's where he will want to predominantly take this fight. On the feet, I think that Sandhagen will and can whip him up a little bit. I think he can go through him a little bit down on there. And the thing is as well, Bautista did have a fight coming up in the 1st of February. So he was in camp getting ready for a fight in the LFA card, which was going to be that Kyle Stewart against Jared Gooden main event. So he was getting in fight shape. He was only a few weeks out. He's just having to kind of bring it in a few weeks forward. But obviously against probably a better opposition in Sandhagen. Sandhagen, I thought, was getting a big push against John Lineker. But you can see why, because the guy's super exciting. He's very, very good. In that Alcantara fight, the reason I was going to pick Lineker over him was I was in the UFC at that point. Well, he wasn't in the UFC at that point. I was asking about what's next for him, and he told me he had an opponent. He never told me it was going to be Alcantara. But he said the one thing that he wishes he could rein in Cory Sandhagen is his ability to stick to a game plan. He's too aggressive, like he's super aggressive, that he kind of throws everything out the window and just goes for it. And he kind of did that in Alcantara fight, where he came in and he got hit with a shot on the feet as he was coming forward. His pressure but when you look at the guy, he's got all the skills to really be a long fighter and fight at distance. See, in the Lineker fight, I thought if he fought like that, uses teeps, the long jab, and don't get in close where Lineker can hurt you, that's how he can win that fight. I just don't think he could do that. I think he would instantly, once they both started throwing, he would want to engage in a brawl. And then if you do that with John Lineker, you're just kind of playing with fire and you're ready to get your hands burnt pretty much. But in this one here, I think that, and like in that Alcantara fight, he showed a lot of grit and determination. But once he got into that position where he could dominate the fight, he went in there and he absolutely bludgeoned Alcantara. He's got long elbows, big strikes from the top. That fight should have been stopped at the end of round 1, in my opinion, and that's after pretty much having his arm kind of snapped or nearly snapped. Crazy. I think the takedowns. I don't think he keeps him there, though. I think that Sandhagen's kind of long enough to get back to his feet, and I think once it gets back to his feet, I think he's got more tools than what Bautista has. Bautista's going to be a good fighter in the UFC if they keep him around long enough and they let him mature and give him the right type of fights. But he is coming in the 135-pound division, which is a absolute short time. We saw that UFC 232 with Peter Yan, Nathaniel Wood, with unbelievable performances, especially Peter Yan. I'm going to pick the second round to TKO. I think that his arsenal that he has is going to be a little bit too much for Bautista, and he wins that fight via stoppage there. Light heavyweight division, Alonzo Menifield against Vinicius Moreira. This is one that I probably looked at the least in the whole entire card. You've got your big bombing striker in Menifield against your kind of submission grappler in Vinicius Moreira. Both guys that were on the Dana White show. The feet, that's something that he definitely has. Comes from a great camp at Fortis MMA, which is an up-and-coming gym. Undefeated guy. Coming off that win over Deshaun Boatwright on the Dana White Contender Series, but another guy who was on the LFA. LFA cards are incredibly good for guys coming into UFC because they put on great events. I do think his takedown defense is shaky, a little bit ropey, but on the feet, he should have a huge advantage over Vinicius here. Now, if it goes to the ground and it gets sloppy, Vinicius is going to come into this fight and he's going to have an opportunity to win this fight. For me, I just think Menifield's going to catch him, and the opportunity is not going to be able. There's not going to be an opportunity for Moreira to take this to the ground. But if he does, keep your eyes open because I think he could easily find a submission. I'm going to go Alonzo Menifield via knockout in the first 2 rounds. But honestly, it's not a fight I've out of all the fights on this card, it's the one I've looked at probably the least.
Yeah, your analysis is pretty close there. I believe that my issue with Vinicius is he just wants to take down.
Yeah.
He just wants to get it down because he has got really poor striking. Yeah. I'm sure that he spent time since Dana White's show working on his boxing, footwork. I'm sure he has. But 8 weeks is not enough time to get ready to perform and box someone. He literally will, everything he's learned these past 8 weeks will not come into play in this fight. You need like months and months of drilling for it to be embedded in you as a muscle memory to be effective in a bout. I think the problem is he just wants that takedown, so he'll just throw not good strikes, grapple, try to get you down, and that's where he's more comfortable. But even then, he's not the best at keeping dudes down. Like, he can get guys down sometimes, not all the time. So he's not got great takedowns. He's not the best at keeping you down, but it's only when it gets to maybe the second round, everyone's a bit more tired, and suddenly that dude who was 205 pounds, well, probably 220, that 220 really is heavy in the second round, whereas the first round you're a bit fresher to get out. But I'm with you, man. I'm going stoppage. I'm going first round because I just think he comes in and he's open. He's open to strikes. And if anyone is worth, any sense, like they would have drilled, Alonzo to just step back and uppercut, just step back, jab, uppercut. just pop those off, just an angle off, jab, uppercut, off you go. And it's there all day just to really mess up a lot of Vinicius. You saw him as well in the Dana White show. He was getting just lit up because he kept going for these takedowns and missing. And his opponent was able to land strike after strike after strike. And at the end of the first round, he was tired himself from just getting punched in the face so much. Yeah, I think Alonzo can just land that money shot in the first, definitely. I'm going to go Alonzo first round. Don't get me wrong, I think the Vinicius is just like another Vinny Magalhaes is the best way to put it.
Yeah. Good fight here. Joanne Jojo Calderwood faces off against the violence queen, she calls herself, former KSW champion, and Ariane Lipski. Really, really good fight. A good introduction for Lipski. So yeah.
Was Lipski meant to fight Suarez from Invicta FC, wasn't she? Wasn't that a fight that was meant to happen? Then it fell through, was it? No.
Hey, she fought Suarez. She fought it
was Veronica Machado, wasn't it? She was meant to fight, was it?
No,
who the hell was she meant to fight?
Marina Moroz. Marina Moroz was a scheduled opponent.
My mistake. Yeah, my mistake. Sorry.
She was coming short notice for Veronica, who pulled out against Moroz. That's what it was.
There you go. Bloody hell. Right, there you go. I knew it was a mess, like a fuddle on how that all happened and everything. I didn't move around. But I think this is a far better fight to match up. I think, what do the pair like to do? They like to stand up. For Jojo, this must be like, I've got a fighter that I can do what I want to. I've got someone who will stand and he will not back off. Like the Cynthia Carvalho fight, she was just being technical. She was with Joanne, and what I mean by Cynthia was she was not getting stuck in, not getting, staying there for Jojo to be able to strike off on her. She was just being, in, out, get away from Joanne's strikes. Not going to get that in this fight. She's not going to get something like that. Lipski's game. Like, that girl is game. She's like Peter Yan is the best way to describe it. That girl will just lit. Like, she will throw bombs and combinations. Like, she's not just like popping one. Like, she's not standing there with a big right hand like a Dan Henderson and just swinging it in. She just throws power combinations. Absolutely rips you up. And she's. So Jojo is she's like an artist, she's beautiful with the strike and paint, like just beautiful, like whip shots, combinations, and 1-2. But Lipski's just pressure. And I know that Jojo, she's now got another coach as a boyfriend again. And she's settled this time, like she was last time and the time before. But I always had doubt with Jojo on the mental aspect of the game, because sometimes you see that she sometimes falters, sometimes stuff's on her mind, whatever it is. And with Lipski, she just has this she's like Jojo, like there's just something about her that's like an aura of just I don't know what it is, but it's just. She's a bad motherfucker, is the best way to put it. And I think with Jojo, the one thing you don't want to give Jojo is space. You give Jojo space, she can manipulate it. You close Jojo down, it starts to limit Jojo's arsenal a little bit. It just brings it down some of the advantages she has. And if I'm Lipski, I'm just gonna keep close to it. Just keep the pressure, keep the numbers, keep the volume going. I'm interested to see what Jojo does since she's been training at Syndicate for such a long time now. See what she can produce in this fight, because I think the longer you can stay at a particular place and their training methods, their habits, the new techniques starts to come through a bit more. So I am looking forward to seeing what Jojo can bring. I just really am high on Lipski, kind of like where when Peter Yan came in, the pair of us were like, this dude's going to fuck people up, he's awesome, when he made his debut. Same with Lipski, I think she's just a great addition to the UFC roster. And obviously the UFC are going to realize she's like a great poster girl. She's got the looks, she's got the skill set. I'm going to go decision for Lipski, but I'm going to fight in the night here as well. I think this could be just an absolute great battle and a great technical fight.
Yeah. This was one that was, I think, for this card was put out pretty early, and it was moved originally for. It was going to be on the pay-per-view that got scratched. But I love this fight. I think it's a great fight. I think Lipski is a really great addition to the UFC in general. I think she's just a really good fighter. Still young, still ever improving. But when you watch her fights, and I don't think many people in America has really seen this girl. Us watching KSW over here, I don't get to watch it live, so I always run back and get the pay-per-view and watch it after it's finished. And it's a pay-per-view I buy, KSW, all the time, because you know what you're going to get. It has just blossomed into this violent thug who is just destroying girls. And what I've liked her, she's shown she's got a ground game. She's shown she's got a very explosive striking. She's shown that she can go 25 minutes. So that is the kind of full package. The only thing that she hasn't got on her side there, she's not faced the caliber opposition of what Joanne Calderwood is. So that is obviously it's the next step there. So the way I kind of see her winning this fight is it's hurting Jojo. I think Jojo's defense has always been a bit susceptible. She can take strikes. You've seen in the early part of the Court and Casey fight, she took a big shot in the very first minute or 30 seconds of that fight, got hurt badly, came through it, won the fight. She can't take those type of shots against Lipski because Lipski's going to keep barreling forward and just bulldozing through her. She's not going to stop. And if it goes to the ground, like, let's be honest, I've seen people say that Jojo's the better fighter on the ground here. No, she's not. She got taken down against Kalindra Faria, and she was getting dominated. But you could see, like I said in my predictions last night, you can see how she was making the right movements to move her body to get the triangle. And that's something that you would never have seen from her in the past. Never. If you would have told me that Joanne Calderwood was in the UFC and she was winning by submission, I would have slapped you in your face right there, and then I'd run away because I didn't want to get battered after you. But still, I would slap you in your face. Craziness. I never saw that coming. She was losing that fight until she caught that triangle. She needs to fight long. She can't engage here. I think if she engages and gets in close, now she's dangerous in the clinches, Jojo, but I think this girl throws with that much intensity that she's going to hurt Joanne with some of these shots, and it's going to make her back off a little bit and back up against the cage. And if you back up against the cage against Lipski, she'll barrel forward. She'll throw heavy body kicks, and she just throws until she gets you out of there. The one thing I always like when new fighters in the UFC is going back and looking at losses. She could actually win that fight. She did get taken down. She did get dominated for a little bit, but she was more than making up for it with the damage she was doing on her feet. The one loss where she got knocked out, she must have got hit with a big shot very early on. And this girl she was against just kept on coming and hitting her with good shots, and eventually the ref just had to stop it. Great fight. I want Joanne to win. Looking at the fight though, I think Lipski wins the fight. I think she's more dangerous. I think that when Joanne throws shots, I think she will get countered hard, and that will scare her into throwing strikes. And I think Lipski will start to light her up a little bit. I don't know whether she stops her. I think she has the better chance to finish the fight. But I'm going to go Ariane Lipski to win this fight here. I think it's like I say, 100% want Joanne to win the fight. There's no doubt about that. My colours don't kind of run, they don't bleed like they're blue and white for my country. But when you look at these fights here, I think that there's a lot of aspects where Ariane Lipski can win this fight.
Unless it's Diego Sanchez.
Yeah.
You're not going to be neutral.
Yeah,
that's the only time you're not neutral is Diego. Everyone else, you have an unbiased view.
Yeah, you've just got to look at the matchup, and I've taken shit for years over picking your hometown fighter. No, it's where I think it's going to win the fight. Yeah. I've taken even the last video I made last night. I've taken a little bit because of one of the picks I made. We're about to talk about that in a minute. So I'm going to pick Lipski via the decision now. Moving on. This is your real co-main event of the whole entire card, and it's on the big ESPN, so it's going to get a lot of viewership anyway. So props to those guys. Donald Cowboy Cerrone makes his drop back down to 155 as he faces the surgeon Alexander the Great Hernandez. And I'm going to I'll tell you my bet already. I've already put some money on Donald Cerrone in this fight here. And this one, I could not believe when the betting lines opened for this that he was such a big underdog. Like, he was nearly a 2-1 underdog against Alexander Hernandez. And what have we really got to go on what we've seen from Hernandez? The Dariush fight, he came in that you don't really learn anything from those type of starchings, because it was like 20 seconds into a fight, you don't learn anything, especially in your debut. The fight that you should be looking at more is definitely the Olivier Aubin-Mercier fight, where he came in there and I bet him, he was an underdog in that fight, and I bet him and he won that fight. I loved what I seen out of him in that fight. He showed that he's got relentless grappling, good takedowns, is heavy on top, still makes bad decisions though, and still gets swept, still gets into positions where if there's guys on the ground who are experienced, been in those positions before, they're going to find sweeps. They're going to find ways to get into better positions. And what's Donald Cerrone? He's more experienced. He's dangerous in every facet of the game. When it comes to striking, I don't think Hernandez wants to stand with him. I think he's too dangerous on the feet. When it goes to the ground, dangerous on the ground. So the way I've looked at it is, where does he have his best chance of winning this fight? Can he take him down and not get caught in submissions? I don't think he can. I think he can. I think Cowboy can maneuver himself to get sweeps, get reversals, get back to his feet, and then once it's back on the feet, I think he outclasses him with his beautiful kickboxing that he's got. You look at Cowboy's last fight at 170, and his losses at 170 are not bad. Let's not Leon Edwards, Masvidal, blah blah blah, could go on. They're not bad losses. But the Perry fight, Perry's just being stupid. He wins that fight if he keeps on the feet and lands some power shots. He initiated a takedown and then continued. He had an opportunity to disengage and get back in the middle of the octagon. He still decided to go after him. Guy's a bonehead. Guy's a complete bonehead, and deserved to lose that fight and get his arm nearly snapped, to be honest with the stupidity of his fight. I just think Cowboy has too many tools for this kid. I think there's a massive step up from Dariush. Dariush is good, but you don't learn anything, like I said, from that fight. Though in the Mercier fight, you've seen that he's tough. He can go 15 minutes in rugged, kind of tough fights. But Cerrone's got a decent wrestler himself, and he's got a decent takedown percentage. And you've got to remember, this guy's had like 30 fights in the UFC, and he's got like a 75% takedown defense. Over 30 fights, that's a lot. And I know he's faced a lot of strikers in that as well. Pettis and Nate Diaz and so on and so on. Masvidal, Till. But it's still a 75% takedown defense in nearly 30 UFC fights. Hernandez wins this fight if he can take it down and keep him there. I don't see him keeping him there. I see Cowboy just being the more experienced fighter, being in those positions before, and teaching this kid some new tricks. And I think he can stop him via submission. I think that he'll get into this kind of second, maybe early third round, and he will catch him with a triangle, an armbar. He'll catch him with something. I've just got that feeling. And he's my most confident underdog pick in the whole entire card. And I've got a couple of underdogs on there as well. I've already mentioned Muhammad, and I've got some more coming on later on this card. But Cowboy is my pick. I've had 3 messages since my video came out 20 odd hours ago, and I cannot believe you've picked Cerrone. Why are you not picking Hernandez? And I was like, because I'm picking Cerrone and I think he's the better fighter. That's my opinion. I think he's got more tools just what I'm looking at. So Cowboy Cerrone submission in that fight. It's a good fight though. I like Hernandez a lot, don't get me wrong, I really do. Going to be a good fighter for years to come.
It is a good fight. The worry about Hernandez is all the UFC just trying to push him quickly up those lightweight rankings because they see something there. My worry is that they might be pushing him fast. Donald Cerrone talked about going down to 155 because he wants that title shot. He's got that mouth to feed in his little one. Mm-hmm. That was another factor about he wants to win. He's got to feed a little one, and plus he's going down to 155, so it's a conscious decision that he wants to make the effort. Because the dude could stay at 170 and have just some good fights. Yeah. He doesn't have to go to He doesn't have to go back down to 155. So he's making that decision to go down there, and also being down there, he's had success at 155. Mm-hmm. A lot more success. It's bread and butter down at that weight class. So I think it sounds weird, but the loss to Edwards was the most impressive I've seen. And what I mean by that is, I'm going to be honest, I thought Cerrone was kind of done after that Till fight. I kind of went, oh man, I don't know what's going to happen with Cerrone now. You know, we got smashed, and I know he beat Medeiros, and I thought Medeiros 155er, just the two not cutting weight, blah blah blah. But they lost to Edwards. I thought he was going to get starched by Edwards. Legit, I just thought Edwards just hits too hard. I thought he was going to really hurt him, but he just battled. You know, he got hit, but he really put Edwards on his toes. Like, he worried Edwards. Like, Edwards was starting to really have problems with Cerrone, and I was like, man, there's that Cerrone. There's that bad motherfucker. There he is. And I think that he can win this fight 100%. I just don't want Cerrone to start slow. Yeah. He needs to. It's a 3-round fight. That dude has not got Cerrone. If he's got a 5-round fight, fair enough. It's okay to start slow, maybe. But it's 3 rounds. You have not got time to piss arse around in the first round like you do sometimes. He needs to start. If he wants to go for a title, he needs to start fast and keep that pace and just keep it going. Cerrone can do 3 hard rounds. He can go 3 rounds hard, easy, no problem. It's just when Hernandez gets him down, just your Cerrone, just threaten that goddamn triangle that you got, because that is some legit triangle technique he's got, man. He is dangerous. Like, you do. If I'm anyone, I do not want to be in Cerrone's guard. That triangle is death. It's death. Like you said, the takedown defense is legit as well, and it's 75%, and that's fighting wrestlers as well. So like, it's as a whole, I don't think Cerrone's going to win the 155 belt. I think everyone who knows the 155 division, he ain't going to win that belt. But
big fight.
He's got the intent to do it. And this, he's fighting a young kid. And Cerrone knows tricks and moves, and he's got a lot more knowledge on him. He's still got a chin. Weirdly, you thought like maybe Cerrone's chin. No, he's still got that chin. It's still there. I got Cerrone too. I got Cerrone with a knockout. I think Cerrone can catch Hernandez because, like you say, Hernandez won't want to stand with him, but Cerrone can throw knees, head kicks, front kicks, elbows. Like, he's got some nasty, like, people need to remember, Donald Cerrone throws head kicks that people don't see coming, and he murks you. Alex Hernandez, he's going to be zippy and fast and all that for the first round. He's going to woo. Cerrone's just going to be plodding along. Second round comes. Boom, boom. I want to go second round, man. Second round knockout for Cerrone. I think that people, for some reason, are looking past what he was as a 155er and maybe look at the 170. Like, put Hernandez against Edwards. Hernandez will have a nightmare against Edwards. Let's put it that way. Hernandez will have a nightmare against Till. It's not a slight on Cerrone. I thought Cerrone's best performance, like I said, was against Edwards. I thought he did fantastic in that fight. I really didn't expect him to pull out the performance he did in that battle. I think he's going to do it. I think he's going to knock Hernandez out. Hernandez got a lot of potential, like you say, Will. But sometimes these guys like Cerrone, you can't write Cerrone off. You just can't. He's not showing that he's not got a chin. He's still holding up fine. He's still winning fights. He's still doing performances. I don't know why people look at Cerrone like that.
Yeah, well, I'm looking at my phone now and I'm looking at the rankings. Hernandez is ranked 12 in that division. I think Cerrone knows his money fights are at 155. Yeah, Hernandez has been ranked since he knocked out Dariush, which is fair enough because Dariush was a ranked lightweight at that time. But I'm looking at the top 15 there, and 15's Paul Felter, Dan Hooker, Trinaldo. I think if he wins that, he'll move into a position that Hernandez is in. Then you look who's in front of him, and there's just money fights there for him. There is Gaethje, there is Cory, there is Kevin Lee. If Kevin Lee decides to come down there, and obviously there's the Conor McGregor fight, which I think if he wins this fight, I would be calling out Conor McGregor because I think that's a fight the UFC can sell millions of pay-per-view.
They can. It's a bad matchup for him. Yeah, bad matchup for him. Yeah, he'll get that fight. He's gonna go to sleep. Yeah, but
there's bad blood between them, and
there's money. There's money there.
And he knows where the money fights are. That's why he's going back to 155 because he could have easily stayed at one top 15 guys up there. but he knows his money fights, and he is at the later part of his career. He knows his money fights are at 155, and this is a good matchup for him, I think, in many aspects. A lot of people seem to be super confident in Hernandez, though. It's funny how different people see different things, so we'll see who comes out on top in that one. But we're going with underdog. I bet him at plus 175. Crazy odds, in my opinion. So I laid down some money on that. So that's the prelims out the road. Moving on to the main card now. Light heavyweight division. Karl Roberson is coming in here on short notice to face off against Glover Teixeira. On you go.
And he's going up to 205, sorry. Because Karl's obviously a 185 as well. He's doing short notice, not making a cut. I'm going Karl Roberson. I know it's a random one. This is my kind of shot at the dark here. And I'll explain my reasoning why. I think Karl Roberson, firstly, he's not dropping 20 pounds. So clearly Karl walks around 210, 215. He's not making a big cut. He's obviously clearly going to be a big boy at 185. He's got legit hands. Now, Glover has in the past been known as a guy with good hands, good power, very good grappler, good jiu-jitsu. But Glover ain't no kid now. He ain't no spring chicken. If you've watched the last few fights of Glover's, dude's slow. Like, his punching technique and speed, definitely, there's been a drop in his speed, man. I see that as a little bit more telegraphed. When I'm watching it, you see people moving out of the way of the strikes a bit more. They're moving out of the way of what he's doing. I truly think that Karl's got a chance here. Karl's not going to stay at lightweight. He's not going to stay at light heavyweight. Sorry, he's going to drop straight back down to 185. But I think Karl's got takedown defense. So Glover's going to have a tough time of getting to the ground if he wants to get to the ground. And I just think Karl's going to catch him with the speed factor. And this is the bit, Karl's just going to have to circle around a lot, but just use speed. Use your 1-2s and just catch Glover's speed. We saw Glover doesn't like speed. You look at the Anthony Johnson fight. I know he hits like a freight train, but he was quicker to the punch. You look at Alexander Gustafsson, quicker to the punch, just lightning fast. Just this speed factor is that speed kills Glover. Glover does not like dudes that are fast. He doesn't like it. And I think Karl, being a young, fresh kid, he did good in the fight against Jack Marshman as well. And Jack Marshman, ladies and gentlemen, if you don't know much about Jack Marshman, he's a boxer, boxed for years, legit boxer as well. Great set of hands on him. I'm going to go wild here. I'm going to say Karl can beat Glover Teixeira. I'm going to put my neck out really that far and say he's going to stop him. I'm going to go crazy. Third round finish for Karl. I'm doing it. And when third round finish for Karl, I just think speed kills. And I think he's got a lot of speed that Glover's going to get caught with the strikes. I think Karl can just beat him to the punch, just catch him out, stop the takedowns, and just I think he can win this fight. Honestly, I really do. I'm sure Karl's a heavy underdog, but I'm going to call this one.
He is a slight underdog. So they're maybe seeing, let me have a look at the odds here.
Damn.
He is a plus 105, so he's a slight underdog. But I'm with you on Karl Roberson. Actually, I prefer picking Karl here. The weight cut's not going to be bad. I think, is the faster striker. Comes from a kickboxing background.
Yeah.
Got some heavy hands. Glover, you can definitely see he's deteriorating. He's definitely on the tail end of his career. And that Gustafsson fight, he took a load of shots in that one. Now, Gustafsson's a top 3 guy in that division. Always has been for the last 3, 4, 5 years, even longer than that. So that's not taking anything away from Glover. But the only worry I have with this one is if Glover can wrestle him, take him to the ground and keep him there. Now, Roberson has submission skills. We've seen that before in the past. But predominantly, if this fight stays standing, I think he has more tools in the way of kick. Will he be a little bit fast? I don't know whether he'll hit it.
Bro, you cut out there. You said you're talking about Karl and what he can offer. It just cut off, though. Sorry, bro. I don't know what happened there. So go ahead.
No, he's got I think he's got a lot to offer on the feet. I think he's got very heavy head kicks. very heavy combinations. The only thing that I just, like I say, that I worry about is him getting taken down and getting laid upon, which could be something that could happen, because you would think he was supposed to face Kutalaba, and Kutalaba was going to come out and throw, so he was probably looking to maybe use takedowns in that fight. I like Karl Roberson to cause the upset here. I'm going to pick him via decision. I think he'll be faster to the shot. I think a knockout is a very kind of high proposition in this fight for Karl Roberson if he can put his combinations together properly. Like I say, it's hard to really look into the fight too much considering it got made yesterday. But I'm going to go Karl Roberson via a decision in that one there. But interesting fight, a good replacement.
Yeah, it's a shame really Glover just came to UFC so late, you know. Yeah. We could be talking about one of the greats, but it just sadly it was just too late by the time he came to UFC. You know, he did come in like 5 years earlier, and I think it would be a different story for Glover's future. But anyway,
he missed out in the kind of prime era of that division.
Yeah,
where he could have been around where the Rashad Evans, the Rampage, the Shogun,
Machida. Yeah,
he kind of missed out in all those kind of fights, and he came into the John Jones era, which nobody's been able to find a way around. So, moving on, women's flyweight division, I should say. We've got Paige VanZant against Rachael Ostovich. Really interesting matchup, actually. It's one that I didn't think I was going to have much interest in. But
what? How could you not have any interest in that?
Yeah, outside having the tissues. Outside of that, fight-wise, I don't think it'd be a possible bet. And it is something I'm looking at betting-wise for this fight. We've obviously had the problems with Rachael Ostovich in her personal life, which is horrible. Her boyfriend's a bit of a scummy bag. But like I say, I'm sure there was things going on in their private life there that kind of made that what it was. And I've heard different stories, like Rachael was messaging other guys and meeting other guys, and I'm just like, I don't know whether I believe that.
I don't know if I believe that, because she's all about Jesus Christ and all that stuff, and she seems to
goody for that, maybe.
Yeah,
who knows? We don't know the full story and stuff like that. But
I wish you'd fucking message me.
Yeah. Well, I'm not going to say that because my message has just left the room, but but still, good fight. I actually think it's a really good fight for Paige VanZant to make a return off an injury, and Paige is going to be my pick here. Rachael is 4-4, and she's 4-4 for a reason. She's not great. I think she's had lesser opposition in which she's lost to. Now, I'm not saying Paige is a world beater, but I think she's got a skill set that could cause Rachael problems kind of throughout the fight and could wear on her and kind of maybe make quit a little bit too much. I think she might make Rachael work, and I think that's when you can start to make her quit a little bit, and that's kind of what I'm going. Striking wise, I think that, I mean, Paige is like a fairy on her feet, kind of bouncing around like a kind of tap dancer or whatever, and just throwing those kind of silly looking kicks. But she caught Beck Rollins with one, could easily catch Rachael Ostovich with one here. Initially, she comes from a grappling background, used that earlier on in the UFC career, very, very scrappy on the ground. And then when she's made that clear step up in opponent, she has lost fights. Rose Namajunas has obviously got the belt. That was a big step up, and there's been some other ones there as well. I just think this is a very winnable fight. I think she's the better striker. I think she can out-wrestle Rachael. I think she can find a submission. I think Rachel's wrestling is one of her strong points, but I do think that if you're fairly decent in that aspect, like Montana de la Rosa was, you can, if she's on the kind of bad side of things, I think you can make her quit a little bit, and I think you can take a little bit of her confidence. So I like Paige VanZant, and honestly, I'm thinking about betting Paige VanZant. I'm waiting to see if that line's coming down, because it was way up at -200, and people are betting Rachael Ostovich, and it's came all the way down to -150. So somebody's seeing confidence in Rachael Ostovich. I could never bet Rachael Ostovich in this spot, especially with all the problems outside the cage and so on. I'm going to pick Paige VanZant to win. I think she can actually stop her via submission.
I was to and fro with this one, because the wrestling side that Rachael has was a factor for me. I thought maybe she could get the grappling aspect in there, because, like I said, Paige throws those kicks. So the takedowns are there. You know, catch the catch kick, take down, shoot in, get on top of Paige, and just smother her for 3 rounds. Because Paige has got not a bad grapple game for herself, so I thought maybe she could scrap it out a bit. You know, Rachael, she can be stopped, but you have to be able to hit hard. Paige doesn't hit hard. I know she stopped Bec Rawlins, but Bec Rawlins isn't the most aware striker or fighter that we've ever seen, and not very good. I just don't think Paige hasn't got huge power. Even at 125, I don't think she's just a power girl. She's a kind of a numbers one. Rachael on the feet, I feel like she plods a bit. I don't know if you've seen that yourself. Like, she just doesn't seem. It's almost like she doesn't seem comfortable on the feet, which is weird.
Yeah.
Because you got to think. Look at the Hawaii kind of momentum. Is a good way to put it. You know, the way things are going. You think like with Max Holloway and stuff. You know, you would think, gosh, she should. You know, you thought you'd see maybe a progression with the strike and the footwork with the way Max Holloway is, but she seems kind of happy with that grappling submission kind of aspect of the game. Who knows? She could come out there and show us a lot of improvements with the striking. How much sparring has she done with that eye? How healed is that eye? You know, is she doing it just to show that, you know, kudos to her, you know, because like you said before, husband's a piece of scum, piece of shit cunt. There's no way to put her out, you know. I hate those people. Folks, I'd tell you right now, I'd put the electric chair on him. Boom, not a problem. Wouldn't find an issue with it. Doesn't care if it doesn't. So what if she did message some blokes? Even if she did, let's hypothetically say, does not deserve an absolute beating. You know what I mean? Take your phone off her. You know, spank her. Yeah, I would go with Paige only because. Even I'm not confident on Paige, if I've got to be honest with you, just in general. You know, she's all loved up with her husband. So how much are they, you know, really improving together? How much, like, is she getting? How much quality training is she getting? Like, how much quality sparring partners, etc., is she getting? Yeah, I'm going to go with Paige because, again, I think that she's got maybe a little bit more already there, skill set-wise, basically from Team Alpha Male when she trained there. I'll go decision. Paige VanZant, they're going to be proper. They're going to be besties forever. Them two, you can see it because they're both Bible bashers. They're both Bible bashers. The whole abused thing. The pair of them had some kind of physical. Them two will be besties after this. You just know it. They're going to do like a TV show or something. That's what's going to happen. But yeah, I'm going to go with Paige VanZant decision. But again, I'm not overly stoked on either one of them ever do. I don't think either one of them will ever get that far in the flyweight division. But I won't mind them sticking around and staying in it for a while.
Okay, so that one's out the road. Hashtag fake boobs again. Flyweight division rematch. Joseph Benavidez, Dustin Ortiz.
I know, yeah, they fought back in 2014, I want to say. Was it 2014? Gosh, it was a while back that. Lincoln, Nora, that was a while back. And Dustin Ortiz, you know, he's added a little bit to his game since then. But really weird thing is, he hasn't added a lot to his game. When I watch that fight back and I look at him now, of course, the grappling thing, Dustin Ortiz legit got really good grappling. Benavidez was getting taken down, was getting held down for a bit, but did well to get up. And it was not a bad fight. It wasn't a bad fight at all. Again, it's a weird fight, this, because it's like, what are they fighting for? This is what blows my head. You know, for a division that they're no longer they're discontinuing it after this event. It's weird. You know, this is the last flyweight fights that are made, I believe, or that are scheduled to be done. You know, I suppose Benavidez, they feel like there's a favour there to him because he's been in the UFC for so long, plus his missus works for the UFC. Oh, man. I've got Benavidez because I think obviously after his last fight, he got that ring rust out of the way, so to speak, and I think he'll be a lot smoother, his reaction time will be a lot quicker. I think Benavidez, solid takedowns, solid grappling, and a little bit more to his striking game. I do feel Benavidez is far superior on the striking, though. So he's always going to have that over Dustin. I don't think Dustin's ever going to have the striking. Benavidez is good at controlling the range, controlling the distance, moving the footwork. And that threat is always there, Will. You know yourself, the team alpha male guillotine, so to speak, that's ingrained in Joseph Benavidez. Even when Benavidez is 50 years old, you'll still have that whipping guillotine technique in there, and he's one of the best at it. You know, he's got a beautiful guillotine choke, folks. Oh gosh, so good at it. And again, Dustin's going to have to be wary of it. You know, even back then he had to be wary of it, and he still has to be wary of it now. So that immediately affects your takedown options. It affects the method in which you take down, how you approach the takedown. So again, I just see it as a Benavidez win again. I know it's been a while since they fought. Benavidez is a bit older, you know, probably a bit slower, but I just think Benavidez is always going to be perennial. Dustin's always just going to be around that middle area. Some guys just kind of have where they're going to be in their careers, and I think it's just it's a last hurrah for the pair of them at flyweight in the UFC. I know they keep saying, we're going to perform a great fight to keep the flyweight division going. You're like, dudes, like, you think one fight is going to happen and make that Dana go, oh, one fight that changed my mind on the whole weight class? No chance. It's not going to happen. But yeah, I'm going to go Benavidez, make decision. Benavidez decision.
A big Joseph Benavidez fan I have been for a long time. I think Dustin Ortiz has made improvements since the fight. Don't think they're huge improvements, but they are. He's one of those guys that is always tough to face no matter who he's against. Dustin Ortiz, he's a grinder, and he comes at you, he stays in your face. Coming off a big win over Matheus Nicolau, which I did not see that fight finishing the way it did. But when you look at the first fight, Joseph Benavidez outstruck him. He got takedowns. He did get taken down himself, but when he got the takedowns, he did like more damage with them. Where when Benavidez got taken down, he popped straight back to his feet, and was just the superior guy in pretty much every aspect. You could tell there was levels between the two guys. Now, I'm not saying that Ortiz has made big strides. I think he has made strides. We haven't really seen that much of Benavidez in the last couple of years. But he looked terrible when he came back against Sergio Pettis. You could definitely tell that the surgery had taken a pretty hard kind of shot on him. But then people were completely writing him off against Alex Perez. I bet him as an underdog, and he came through as an underdog, and he won that in the first round. I don't see this being much different from the first fight. I'm looking at it from how can Dustin Ortiz win this fight from the very first time it ends. Then I can maybe see him winning a round. But still, I'm fairly confident in what I see from Benavidez, actually. I think that Benavidez is going to just be the classier fighter in every aspect of the game, have more output, show a little bit more. And if he wins this fight, he puts himself right there for Cejudo. If Cejudo wins that fight, it's a rematch they could make. He's beat the champion. If Cejudo wins, the UFC can at least get one more fight of that division if they want it, depending if they're folding it or not. Who knows what's going on with the UFC, but it's a matchup that can be made. I'm picking Joseph Benavidez to win 29-28 across all three scorecards there. Lightweight division, Gregor Gillespie. Yancy Medeiros moves back down from 170 to 155. I'm picking Gregor Gillespie. I'm not going to wind out too much here. Everybody, there's not people out there that will hate Yancy Medeiros. He brings the fight, but he's going to bring the fight to a guy I think has got more tools, especially with his wrestling. I think this could be one of those fights where he could come in here. As soon as he comes forward, Gregor Gillespie is going to take him down and just hurt him pretty viciously. How Yancy can win the fight. Gregor does leave his chin in the air a little bit, and his hands kind of do float away from his face a little bit. So there is opportunity for maybe Medeiros to use that long range and maybe help him with that. I just think Gillespie's got so many tools, dangerous with his striking. We don't even have to talk about how good his wrestling is and his grappling. It is second to none. There's only one guy in America that was better than that guy. I think it was Jordan Burroughs, who is an absolute wrestling legend over there. And I just see this where maybe Yancy might get a couple of shots off early, gets his confidence. He's going to stand there too long and he's going to get taken down. And once he gets taken down, I think right on him, he could pound. you could find an arm triangle. That's kind of where I'm going. I think he takes him down and starts working him from the top position and finds a submission in the first round. I think the first or second round could be is where Gregor gets it done. I would be super surprised if Yancy Medeiros came out here and won this fight. Now, the guy's scrappy. Those Hawaiian guys, you can never, ever write them off. Never, ever do that. And, yeah, it's a tough fight for him. It's a tough fight, I think. I think Gillespie I think he's going to be best when he goes down to 145 because he's a small lightweight. But I think he wins this fight. I think he wins via submission in the second round, arm triangle. But in that first round, I see him getting takedowns and just pummeling him, and then eventually we'll find a finish. So Gregor Gillespie, second round submission for me.
I think 2019 is the year Gregor Gillespie becomes a big star for the UFC.
Yeah.
You know, definitely. He's shown ridiculous amount of potential in the bouts that he's had. And I think this year, they're not really putting a lot of attention on him. They've not really put a lot of focus or effort on him, to be honest with you. You know, I suppose he's not your typical kind of person that they want as a poster boy, so to speak, or poster girl. But Greg Gillespie's a phenomenal talent. I love it. Whenever he gets a matchup, I'm in. I don't care who it is, where it is, I'm in. Gregor has got my attention. And I think Yancy, perfect fight for Gregor. You know, because Yancy just wants to scrap, throw down, active fighter. So he'll be aggressive. Perfect for Yancy. Gregor wants. If Gregor fights someone who's counter striker, he's going to have a bit of a. I think he'll have a harder time because the person's going to be quite on their back foot, moving away often. That makes it harder for takedowns because you have to close that gap. You know, how do you close a gap down when they're never there? You know, they're always moving away. So this guy, Yancy, perfect for him, like you said, the takedown aspect. I think Gregor could hurt Yancy on the feet, though. I think he could wobble him on the feet. I'm going to go TKO, but I think he wobbles Yancy, gets him down. So wobble, takedown, on top, smash, 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 smash. I think Gregor's gonna. I just see it get finished, like you say. Well, he's got a lot there. A lot to offer, a lot of danger in him. I'm not going submission. I'm going TKO. I think he might even, I'm going to TKO. I just think he'll just hurt Yancy. He'll just catch Yancy because Yancy, like you know well yourself, he's there to be hit because the dude just bangs and he doesn't. His offense is his way of defending. He's like, if I keep punching, no one's going to punch me, and Yancy just gets hit, and he's like, just rock him, sock him, and that's. You know, that's the Charles Oliveira, not Charles Oliveira, cowboy fight, Brazilian cowboy fight. That was what that was. You know, he should have theoretically lost that fight, but Cowboy just lost it and just got involved in this crazy wild scrap when he didn't need to. But yeah, I know Gregor made decision. No decision. TKO Gregor. Okay.
Just by the way, James Lynch has just put an interview with Kyle Stewart. So he's definitely in for that fight with Chance at the beginning of the card there. But yeah, co-main event. Not really, shouldn't be co-main event. Greg Hardy against Alan Crowder. Yeah.
Oh yeah, Alan Crowder. Even though he's been brought in as cannon fodder for Greg Hardy, but Greg Hardy's a piece of shit, and you can take your second chances and shove them up your arsehole because a 260-pound gorilla beating on a tiny little hobbit who's a woman. Don't care. I don't care. And if I met him in person, I'll tell him he's a piece of shit as well. I don't care how big he is. Don't care. Not scared. You're a scumbag, mate. If you hit a woman, you're not a tough man. Don't care what you do in the cage. You got to look past to past. Oh, really? Okay. Let's forget what. All right. Adolf Hitler. Let's buy second chances. Bygones be bygones. Hey? Let's forget what he did. Yeah, thought so, people. Yeah. Sip it. Scumbag. Alan, I hope you upset the UFC. I hope you upset the apple cart. I hope you go in there and you knock him out. Or I hope you go in there and you poke him in the eyes and kick him in the nuts and do something like that. Just do that for everyone. Just go in there and go boom, right in the nutsack, poke him in the eyes and walk out and go, I don't care. Shove your UFC contract. Alan, via anything. Via gunshot from the crowd or guillotine or whatever, like a physical chop of the head. I don't care, mate. Bone arrow, whatever. Alan, please please do us all a favour and win.
Is that your official pick?
That is my official pick. I don't care. I'm never picking Greg Hardy ever in my life, ever. I'm never watching one of his fights. Never going to watch any of his tape studies. Never going to give him a time of day. If he's on fire, I won't even piss on him. I'm not even joking. Not got time for a scumbag. Not got time for a scumbag like that.
I'm going Greg Hardy.
Scumbag.
I think it's I think a lot of people. This is not going to be the fight where that's going to happen. I don't think. I'd be very surprised if it happened. The UFC know what they're doing. Crowder is a really undersized heavyweight, where Hardy is he's a humongous guy in that division, very fast. But we've only seen him fight for a minute, and if he lands a couple of shots and Crowder's still there, Crowder's got every opportunity to probably upset this guy. It would surprise me if he won, but I just do not see it being this fight. I think the time for Greg Hardy losing is coming. I just don't think it's going to be Alan Crowder. I don't think Alan Crowder's got the tools to beat him. I hope he does. I think a lot of people want to see the guy kind of get some bad karma and all this jazz. I just think he's too fast. He hits too hard. And I think he will hurt Alan Crowder and get him out of there very, very early on in this fight.
Match up with Stipe. Give him a Stipe now.
Yeah, step up, yeah. But yeah, I'm going to go Greg Hardy. It's not, honestly, I'm not really interested in the fight at all.
No.
Don't know why the UFC are putting him so far up the card. It's crazy to me. I'm going to pick Greg Hardy, but honestly, I'm not really giving two shits about that fight, to be honest with you. So now we're on to the main event of the night. Good. I don't know why I'm saying good. Great fight. Down at 125 pounds. The defending champion Henry Cejudo facing off against the UFC bantamweight champion and TJ Dillashaw. TJ Dillashaw ran through. Yeah, I don't want to say ran. Well, he did run through Cody Garbrandt. He got him out there in the first round. But I think I don't want to take anything away from him. Maybe I'm just being a little bit
bitter.
Maybe. I do think that Cody Garbrandt can win that fight. I think he has the tools to win that fight. I just don't think he's got it in here to win the fight right now. But like I said, this is actually the guy I've watched more fights on this card than anybody. I went all the way back to the Ultimate Fighter days when he was on Team Bisping, I think it was. And I mean, the progression that guy's made from being just a wrestler to his striking is crazy. Like, I didn't realize, I knew it was always his strikings came along with bang, but holy shit. The guy, like, his feints are amazing. His footwork is amazing. His angles are awesome. Got power, good timing, a good brain for the sport, an all-around really good fighter. Big respect for TJ Dillashaw. I think he's the greatest bantamweight champion we've ever had. I think it's him and Dominic Cruz. Dominic beat him. I think Dominic deserved to win that fight. In my opinion, when I watched it back,
squeaky close.
Yeah,
it wasn't like big. It was super tight. But I liked that match because it was so technical. It was like just a chess match. Yeah. Super close. I want a rematch. Like the annoying thing is, it won't happen. We'll never get it. Cruz just keeps getting pissing injured. Yeah.
But when you look at the resume that TJ Dillashaw has and the wins he's got, Garbrandt twice, John Lineker,
Barao
twice. The guy's a legend. Like, he is literally a legend. And if he wins this one here, he's just furthering himself into one of the best UFC champions of all time. There's no way you can take that away from him. But when you watch the Cody Garbrandt fight, he was losing that. He lost that first round in the first fight. It's obvious.
Yeah. You dropped it.
Then he caught Cody with a shot. But with the second fight was where I thought, right, Cody's going to make changes. And if he fights smart, he can win that fight. I think he has the more power and he is the faster striker. But you see the middle part of that fight, and he gets hit with a shot by TJ, and he wants to get it back so quick that he stands in the pocket, and I think they sling 3 times each. And the more technical striker, now Cody's a good technical boxer, but the more technical, on-point, accurate striker was Dillashaw. Caught him with a beautiful shot. As soon as he caught him with that shot, he swarmed that dude. And if he catches you with anything, I think the guy is one of the best of the sport. completely took Cory out of his element, and that was that. And then I was wondering, right, who's he going to face next? Because he has got. I know he's beat a lot of guys in that division, but you look at the challengers coming through. Moreira,
insane list,
and crazy. The Southern Rivera,
Assun Sao trilogy is right there.
Yeah.
Like that's a trilogy in the making.
The guy's got some big fights in his own division, but if he can come down here and win a belt, Dwayne Ludwig was like saying he wants to move to 145 and have 3 belts.
Yeah,
which would be crazy. That would be crazy, but I don't see him beating Max Holloway. I actually don't see him beating Henry Cejudo. Henry Cejudo is going to be my pick for this fight. I said this. I watched that fight 4 times now between him and DJ. I still don't score it for Henry Cejudo. I still have it for DJ 3-2. I think he wins the first 3. I think Cejudo wins the last 2. Second round's close. I can see why people gave him the fight, but I still had Mighty Mouse winning that fight. But what you've seen in that fight is progression from the first fight to being a bigger guy. Absolutely beautiful wrestling. And I know he's a gold medalist, and I'm going to say that, but his angles on his takedowns, his inside and his outside trips are so good. It's not even funny. It's just like, it's beautiful to watch. I actually slowed it down and watched, and you learn things from Cejudo and the wrestling thing. Even DC was on the commentary, and he was saying, did you see that? That doesn't happen with like normal wrestlers. That guy was like, when he was taking people down, he had angles and everything, and it was crazy. Obviously, you've got TJ coming down into a division he's not used to being in. He's got to really hurt himself with his weight cut and really be dialed in to make this weight. And saying that, Cejudo has never been the best at making weight either. So there's a couple of little things before that fight's happening that we need to get to Friday. We need to get these guys weighed in the fight. And when you see like Henry, he like bites it, feints a lot, and TJ throws a lot of feints. He throws a lot of kind of movement out there that is going to really kind of try and baffle you a little bit. And Cejudo definitely bites them. He did it in the DJ fight. He got hit with some big strikes. He countered with some beautiful strikes himself, to be fair, and hurt DJ with some of those strikes. Hurt as in landed well, never really rocked him or anything. But you can see how far of a fighter he's came along. Super dangerous. I think he will get takedowns on TJ as this fight goes on. I think he will start to, obviously he'll start to fade a little bit. And that's something that TJ has always been good at, his cardio, his stamina, his conditioning. But that 10 pounds is going to take out him. I don't care what anybody says. But if he hurts Cejudo, he will close in him. I really do. I think he's one of the best closers in the game. Much respect to TJ Dillashaw. He's actually a guy I really want to meet. I've never had the opportunity to meet him. And I know I'm a big Cory Garbrandt fan. I always will be. And he'll always be the kind of enemy of Team Alpha Male, which is a team I like, and Cory Garbrandt. But his skill set and his fighting style is amazing. He is one of my favourite fighters, actually, I think, to watch outside my favourite fighters, if you know what I mean. I've got my stock favourite fighters. Then I've got TJ, who I want to hate, but I can't really hate. Good fighter, great fighter. I just think that early on, I think these rounds are going to be close. I think that, like in the DJ fight, Cejudo got takedowns at the right time and did more with his grappling wrestling, which obviously looked better in the judges' eyes than what DJ was doing with his striking. And I think that's kind of where this is going to go here. I think if he can stay competitive on the feet with TJ and get into those wrestling scenarios where he can get trips and keep him there, then I think he wins this fight. I think he wins a decision. And yeah, great fight. Honestly, when you look at the TJ's career, I advise anybody, if you've not watched, maybe you have watched all his fights, go back and watch his progression. It's crazy since he left Team Alpha Male, and he got a lot of shit for leaving Team Alpha Male, but since then he's a totally different fighter, a great fighter. But for this fight, I'm picking Henry Cejudo, maybe a 48, 47, 49, 46. I think that Henry's going to show he is one of the best guys. And like, those guys that win gold medals are the supreme athletes. And it takes a bit of time to move into the certain sports that they're going in. But once they do it, and they nail it, they're really hard to beat. So yeah, I'm going to pick the underdog in Henry Cejudo here to retain his title and beat the
Okay, big call, big shout. I think a lot of people are close with you on that, with maybe favouring towards Henry Cejudo due to the fact, obviously, the weight cut. Yeah. TJ posted that, was it yesterday or today? He said, look, everyone's saying if I'm going to make weight, we've got it down to a science. We've got it down to a T. I've got all this nutrition here. And he was, you know what? He thought, oh, no, he's killing himself. And he was there filming in his kitchen, and he had like an omelette. Like he said, I've got vegetable omelette, blah, blah. And it looked like a legit meal, like you're not killing yourself. Like, if I was eating at my weight cut, I'd be so goddamn happy come fight week, And they do have it down to a science. The guys he works with, they are fucking up there. I think TJ will make the weight. Of course, it's going to kill him a bit. He said he could make it ages ago, so he obviously had the belief and the mindset that he could do this. Yeah. He said it's been a 12-week progress. He said it's been a 12-week camp to make weight. So they knew that he could make the weight and needed 12 weeks. So it's something they've planned. It's something they've looked at. And we all know that he doesn't cut loads to get down to 135. He says it himself. So he goes, I can make. So I'm not too fearful on it. I was at first a few times. I've got confidence in TJ making the weight and feeling good. I do not see how Henry could be compatible with TJ on the feet. I don't see how Henry can be it. Like you mentioned there about the feints, biting on the feints. You can't do that. You can't bite on his feints, because what happens is when you bite on the feint, you give him the answer he needs, because that's what feints are for. Feints are tells. If you tell me what you're going to do, I know where the gap is. And TJ is a motherfucker for that. He will find gaps. And his combinations are so varied. Henry can't. He won't be. I'm not saying Henry's not good enough, but I just don't think he can compute that. Let's be honest. TJ Demetrius Johnson messed up his foot in the second fight that Henry had, and that just wrecked him. Like, slowed him down. A big factor why Henry got the takedowns. DJ couldn't move that fast. Couldn't move out the way. Couldn't get. His feet were heavy. Obviously, he just wasn't able to do what he could do. I'm not trying to take away what Henry did, but that foot injury, the breakup ever on his foot, that was huge for DJ. Because DJ's whole thing is footwork, movement, speed. You give someone a dead leg, that slows them down. TJ's quick, real quick, great footwork, like you said. Henry's got to have a bit of a rough time with that, just that, not going to be able to handle it. And then look, when Henry gets hit, Henry's not too great with the body shots, for example. So TJ will be looking at that. Cool, because Demetrius got with the body shots. Cool, that's an option. Body shot, liver shot, get that in there. Kicks, head kicks. Like Henry's manager, whatever it was on aerial shows, saying, oh, you're all going to be saying this when he squashes him, when he knocks out TJ with a head kick. I was like, yeah, I will actually eat my hat if that happens. If Henry knocks him out of a head kick, I will eat my hat. Good luck with that. I just think Henry's going to be on the back foot. He's going to be counter-striking TJ to get the takedown. That is Henry's go-to. But the problem was, you looked at Demetrius' fight with Henry, he didn't do much on there. He just grappled it in wrestling. The judges, what I'm interested in is Brooklyn, which rule set they use. Because if they use the new rule set, those takedowns won't be as effective on the judging scorecards, because it's effectiveness, not necessarily just to take. Like, it's all good taking them down, but what do you do when you get them down? Do you just hold them down, or are you putting damage on? Because if you're on the bottom and you're throwing shots, you're landing the damage. So the judging could be skewed differently there. Because Henry didn't do a lot to DJ on the ground, like didn't put enough damage on there. I just find that I think TJ's just got so much about him. He's got an iron will. He's got a goal set in mind. Freakishly good talent. Obsessive about winning, just like Henry Cejudo is. Obviously, he's won an Olympic gold medal. Wrestling could be a factor, but on the feet, though, you got to get it to the ground. Can Henry keep TJ down for 5-minute rounds? Because TJ doesn't need that much of an opportunity to hurt you. TJ's going to be bigger, longer, land strikes. I'm going to go TJ. I'm going to TJ stoppage. I think he can stop Henry Cejudo. I think he's got the pop in his hands to catch Henry. I'm going to go, I don't know, 4th round. I think because Henry will just get a little bit more tired, slow down a little bit more. TJ's just got the variable kind of, misdirection with what he throws, kind of catches you out, and that's where he'll catch Henry. So I'm going to go 4th round stoppage for TJ.
Interesting. We'll see how that one goes. So that's UFC Brooklyn out the road. UFC on ESPN+1, the very first event under the ESPN banner, which I'm looking forward to seeing how that's kind of planning out throughout the rest of the year. Looks like it's going to be a good deal for the UFC by the looks of all things. So
not for the fighters, but the UFC.
Yeah. I think that is us until early February. I think we've got a week off, next week off. Then we'll be
back in.
Sunday or Monday, we'll do these fight cards. And UFC Fortaleza, which is a really good card actually coming out of Brazil. A lot of solid fights. I know some of the odds were released for that today. I've not really had a good look, but I might have a look before I head to bed in the next hour or so or whatever. But yeah, that's us for UFC Brooklyn. Keep an eye on interviews. The only bet I have is Donald Cerrone. I mentioned it earlier on. The only other thing I'm really close to looking at, I've mentioned Paige VanZant, obviously. Who was the one? Joseph Benavidez is what I want to make a parlay for this card, but it's actually quite a hard card, I think, for parlaying guys. Ariane Lipski is kind of who I'm looking at to put with Joseph Benavidez, but I don't know about that one.
What about like Gregor Gillespie and someone?
His odds are -500. So I don't know what the odds are inside the distance. Maybe that's a fight to maybe look at and maybe try and get some value that way. But I've not really looked into it that much. Gregor Gillespie, Greg Hardy are two humongous favourites. So they're
Kyle Stewart has been added to the card, it seems. Yeah. So I wonder what his odds are. Maybe he might be, depending on what his odds are, he might be worth doing.
Yeah, we'll probably get that tomorrow. But he is coming in short notice. So it's might one of those fights I'm never too sure about. Especially this, he's probably got that yesterday, and he's got like 6 days to get ready and lose weight. But it's definitely a winnable fight for him for sure.
Yeah.
But I like, I like Benavidez in a parlay. I just got to find a parlay piece to put with him. But the only bet I have so far is +175 in Donald Cerrone. So yeah, UFC Fortaleza, a couple of weeks away. Keep an eye on there. John might be getting some interviews out very, very shortly, so keep an eye on that. Let's get us to 500 before June. That is our main goal for the first half of the year. And for the rest of the year, it's up there. 600, 700 at the very top would be top end for us. So help us out. Comment your fight picks down below, whether you agree, disagree. If you have bets for this card, let us know what they're going to be. And until UFC Fortaleza in a few weeks' time, take care, and we'll see you all very, very soon.